Hey, my loves, it's your girl, Miss Melody XX here, or Hey, ya, Son T, or your girl, Melody Toomer, depending on which platform that you're watching me on. T.S. Madison was on the Breakfast Club this morning. When I say this, I was so ready for this. When I say that this is something that should have happened years ago. I have been a T.S. Madison fan. I believe I really kind of became a fan, I want to say, around about maybe 2011, 2012. So about a good 10 years I've been a T.S. Madison fan. And she has just been so, she has paved the way for so many lanes within the LGBT plus community. And you have to give people their flowers. Like she's the first Black trans woman to have a reality TV show. And so I was so happy. First of all, Breakfast Club, this should have been happening. This was too long overdue. But I was so ready for this. And I want to say also, T.S. Madison, sis, you understood the assignment and then you did extra credit. Okay, I may look down a couple times because I made a couple of notes because there's a couple things I want to point out because first of all, go watch the whole entire interview because the interview was just wonderfully done. She kept it raw, she kept it real, but she said things that needed to be said. And it's just a wonderful interview. So I'm gonna touch on a couple things that a couple of gems and things she talked about that I just want to touch on. Okay, first off, she talked about LGBTQ people occupying spaces. I love that she talked about this because, like she says, a lot of the problems with, LGBTQ people going out and getting more visibility and representation is a lot of people are afraid because we are starting to occupy more spaces. And it's looking like, well, where are all these gay people come from? Where are the trans people come from? Like you said, we've always been here. We've been here. It's just the fact now we're getting more visibility. And I've always said this on my platform. A lot of people are scared of that visibility. And like you say, and people don't understand, the little visibility we have, it still does not even amount to the full representation of heterosexual or straight people. But, it's great because I've always said this. As growing up, I didn't have a lot of, I didn't have really hardly any Black trans women that I could look up to. Majority of I am the trans woman I am today because of Black women, because those were a lot of my role models growing up. But I want to say this to anybody out there. Do not be afraid of gay and queer and trans people occupying spaces because you think that we're going to take spaces away from you. We're not trying to take anything from you. We're not trying to eliminate we're not trying to eliminate you from any situation. We're just trying to come into a space and say, hey, we're here, we exist, we matter, because there are younger Black and queer and trans and gay kids who come up who need to see that representation and can say, hey, that's me, I see me. So that was a very excellent point that she made. And oh my God, I just got my life so much off that. Okay, next point, she said, Black queer people being the last to receive things from the community. That was a very powerful thing she said, because a lot of times when people say, oh, the LGBT community has so many rights, oh, y'all got rights, this, y'all always getting this and that. And people, you have to look at it. The majority of people within a community who get rights upon rights, you have to realize when it comes to LGBT plus community, I have to be real with you. My Caucasian sisters receive a lot of those rights and funds before my Black and queer people. I'm just keeping it real. We are on the lower end. So a lot of times when the Black community are saying things like that, I agree with T.S. Madison. Are you not understanding that I'm Black too? You may not agree with who I am. You may not like it, but just like you're going through a struggle being a cisgender Black man, or just because you're going through a struggle being a cisgender Black woman, I'm going through a struggle too for being a Black trans woman. And a lot of times when you're a Black gay male or a Black trans woman, it's almost like they take it's like a light bulb goes on the head and just forget that, hey, yes, I'm a trans woman and you may not agree with that, but I'm Black. I'm Black. We're both marginalized. We should be working together because we're both marginalized people. And that was so much. That was so powerful. Also, T.S. Madison talked about her relationship with Flame Earl. I love what she said about Flame Earl. She said, that is my sister. She was one of the first representations of what I saw that was me. But she also said that there are things about Flames that she can't agree with, like the pronoun stuff. And that really touched my heart, because for me, pronouns are so important, because to me, how what you call somebody can have a lasting effect on their self-esteem. Some people are not as strong as I am. There was a time to where I wasn't at the level I was, and I would get very offended by what people say. Now I'm not the level, but people just coming into the transition thing, being trans non-binary, that can really affect their self-esteem. And also, like T.S. Madison said, she said that you don't have to accept me, but you have to respect me. If you don't want to accept a gay or transgender person or non-binary person, that's fine. But you should respect us. Respect is so free, because understand this. If you are a cisgender woman, I'm going to give you the respect you deserve. So why is a black trans woman, why can't you give me the respect I deserve? Just like a cisgender black male, I'm going to give you the respect you deserve. So why, as a black trans woman, why can't you respect me? Okay? So it's about respect. Let's just learn it. A lot of times, the problems within the black community about black LGBTQ and queer people boils back down to a level of respect. Let's learn to respect one another. Okay? She also talked about, she talked about transgender women outing men. And I've said this so much to my sisters. Please don't do this, because one, it makes certain men even more comfortable than they are, because they feel like, oh, she's just gonna out me. And also, it's dangerous, my sister. Do you not realize that this year, right now, is on track to be the deadliest year for gender nonconforming and transgender people? And the majority have been what? As I always say, black transgender women and transgender women of color. So please, my black sister, please, can we just not, can we stop with the outing? The outing needs to stop. She also talked about, how she wishes a transgender man, a man would just come out and say, hey, this is my transgender girlfriend or my wife. And I agree with her on so many things. The more we see men coming out saying, hey, I love trans women, especially black men say, hey, I love transgender women, I love non-binary. The more we see that, the more it will become normalized, and it will become easier for people to accept it. Yes, there are people who are always going to be homophobic. Yes, people are going to be transphobic. But we can normalize and make it easier for black transgender women and black queer and get people to get in certain spaces if we just allow the conversation. And sometimes the conversation has to be started by somebody who is, cisgender, who is a cisgender black man or a cisgender black woman. You have to help start the conversation, because we can start the conversation in our community. The cisgender black people who are allies, you can come and talk to us and we can start the conversation. But we need you to take that conversation black into other cisgender black people and black men and women to say, hey, this needs to occur. They're not trying to, eradicate or eliminate nobody. They're just trying to exist. And those are the things that we need. Definitely watch this interview. T.S. Madison, my sis, you are iconic. You deserve everything you've done right now. Because I remember a video you did a while back, and I keep going back to it. It says, paid my dues, I paid my dues. T.S. Madison, you paid your dues and you deserve it. I love you. Great interview. Bye.